Hello, and welcome to the Investing Bros 3 p.m. coverage of these markets. We've got some pretty big breaking news. Crypto.com receiving a Wells notice from the SEC. We're going to get into the details of that. Should you be worried? Should you be migrating your funds off of Crypto.com? We're going to be getting into that on the other side of the intro. Make sure that you smash the like button. And if you're watching for the first time, consider subscribing. I'm T. Shroom. All right. Well, there is also a storm coming, and we're going to be going over some brief changes in the schedule here for the live show, but we'll get to that later in the show. First of all, let's go ahead and bring up the bubbles here, the crypto bubbles. We've got red across the screen, and unfortunately, we're seeing PopCat down 10.3, WIF down 8.6, so the memes getting hit here. TIA, a strong coin this last week, down 7.2%. We do see Eigenlayer up 10.7 and FTT up double digits as well, 12.9. I would strongly recommend staying away from this one though, bros. That's FTT. INJ down 8.8%, PayPay down 8.3. So, like I said, red across the screen. We're going to get into a couple of these coins here. Might take a look at Caspa, might take a look at a few others. You all go ahead and let me know what you want to see. But let's go ahead and jump over to the Bitcoin chart. I've got a simple fib here drawn out. This is a trend-based extension, fib extension here. And as you can see, we're knocking our head up against this 236 level here on that, and that coincides with 63,162. That's what we were fighting for yesterday here on the daily chart. Couldn't get a candlestick above it. The wick got well above it to the tune of almost 2% to the upside, getting up as high as 64,420. 420 handle achieved by the wick, not the daily candlestick. It's also coinciding with the Bollinger Bands here. That's that 20-day moving average, and that is going to go ahead and tell us that bulls are not able to get up above that level, and that's unfortunate. We would have liked to have seen the price level today go ahead and follow with a candlestick where it was able to wick yesterday, and see something along these lines getting up higher. Weren't able to see that, and that is coinciding with this midline of the Bollinger Band price action. Serving is just a block that just cannot be penetrated through from Bitcoin at this point in time this week. We're going to zoom out and see just what's going on from the news side as well, and see what's influencing price action of this nature. However, let's go over to a different chart I have drawn up to show you all that we actually have broken down. Where are those drawings? There they are. So we've actually broken down out of this what was an ascending triangle. I'm going to go down to the 4-hour for this. Some of you may not have been tracking this, but we had a big red candlestick right here on the 4-hour. This went ahead and broke down through the midline of the Bollinger Band and also through this uptrending line of support. So that was no bueno, and unfortunately Bitcoin has actually slumped since then as well. Not able to get back up above 62,617 close candle on the 4-hour. Now to live price 62,029 for Bitcoin. But hey, I'll take it any day of the week. We are above 60,000 bros. If we can even get a close right around here today, anything above 61,000 would keep us in the bottom rung of that Bollinger Band, keep us in there. Now that's not the end all be all level, 61,400. That's not super significant, but if we can get a close above this level, I think that's going to signal to investors that Bitcoin does indeed have some strength here, putting in significantly higher lows. Got significantly higher low here from back here in mid-September. That's bullish, and if we can again print a higher low than right here, that would be very, very bullish. Got to play it. We got to get a little bit crazy sometimes. But yeah, that's my analysis there for Bitcoin. Kind of a little bit of commentary. This line here now invalidated. We're kind of back into this descending wedge. Whether or not we continue higher from here, I think is going to be just the answer being no. I think we essentially go sideways until the election. With some breakouts to the upside or the downside. I think though that they're not going to be a ton of rhyme or reason to those, and they're just going to be fake outs to the upside or downside, right? And ultimately, the real move is going to happen here in around November 5th, whether we go up or down. That's going to be interesting to watch. That'll be a moment of volatility, not unlike the Fed decisions going ahead and saying, is it going to be a bullish event or a bearish event? More than likely, it's going to be very volatile, and so tuning into communities like the Investing Bros to try to parse that out, looking at polls made on Twitter, looking how the market's responding to incoming data. That is how you protect your capital and make generational gains. I'm holding on to my Bitcoin, bros. I'm not looking at anything in the news today as discouraging. We're going to get into the crypto.com news here in just a second, but the short answer is I think your funds are safe on crypto.com. I would not be worried about that, and let's go ahead and get into why. Crypto.com, as of today at 9:30 a.m., received a Wells notice from the SEC. Now, we're going to find out here in a minute that they've had this Wells notice for a while. They have not published it until today. Because today they have decided that they're going to file lawsuit against the SEC to protect the future of crypto in the U.S. Some very heroic language there, and I believe them. I think that this is the kinds of steps you have to take in order to defend your industry. Let's get into some of the details here. The headline from CoinDesk reads, Crypto.com sues SEC Chair Gensler Gary after receiving Wells notice. Maybe you've heard of Gensler Gary. You may have heard of his brother Gary Gensler. Boy, we're having fun. Let's get into the details here. The notice, a warning the agency is considering bringing charges against the crypto exchange, was sent back on August 22nd. So they've been sitting on this Wells notice for over a month at this point, more than a month, almost a month and a half. Why now? Why now go public and bring this lawsuit? I don't know that we'll have the answer to that question in this episode, but that is kind of the lingering question that I think the market's asking. CEO Chris Marszalek said it brought the case to limit the SEC's unauthorized overreach and unlawful rulemaking, and to protect the future of crypto in the U.S. So that's the reasoning there from the CEO of Crypto.com, Chris Marszalek. Let's get into some more details here. The court filing was made to protect the future of crypto in the U.S. CEO Chris Marszalek said in a post on X, the suit is a warranted response the SEC's regulation by enforcement regime, which has hurt more than 50 million American crypto holders. So that is the claim there from Chris, CEO of Crypto.com, saying that the SEC's regulation by enforcement regime has hurt a lot of people to the tune of 50 million Americans, and that's just Americans, right? There's also people around the world that are also affected by American financial regulators' decisions. The SEC has been regulating the crypto sector through a series of enforcement activities, and this is what we're going to be spending a good chunk of the day here, good chunk of this episode, kind of describing, going through the history of the SEC and these Wells notices and the existing lawsuits that are on the books. But before we do that, I got to ask you all to please smash the like button. We're going to do some TA on some altcoins here at the end of the show. We also have some very bullish news that came out yesterday. We haven't covered it yet because it came out after the 3 p.m. live stream. We talked about it on X Spaces. We had a great time in X Spaces yesterday. Some really good insights. We also had a great time in Deep Takes today in the Discord. That's something you get access to every Tuesday at 10:30. We do our Deep Takes, and we go deep. And when I say deep, I mean really deep. We talk about the government's role in crypto, the future of digital finance, and everything in between. People who tune in, they say they really, really like it. And that gives you access in Discord. So go ahead and check that out. All right, let's get into the history here of the relationship between the crypto industry and its papa regulator, its maternal regulator that cares for it so much and cares for the investors, the 50 million American investors that call crypto part of their portfolio. So these are the Wells notices from the SEC. Let me blow this up a little bit more so you can see it better. There you go. Coinbase. In June 2023, Coinbase, a major U.S. crypto exchange, received a Wells notice regarding allegations that some of its assets listed on its platform may be unregistered securities, right? That is a Wells notice, okay, in 2023. Binance, 2023, Wells notice, ongoing litigation involving charges related to operations in the U.S., okay? That's the allegation. Kraken, 2023, November. The SEC scrutiny over crypto staking products. Okay, Robinhood, and this was a more recent one, May 2023. Robinhood issued a Wells notice concerning its crypto business. Robinhood has strongly defended its position, claiming the asset it deals with are not securities. So let's pause there, because of these names, Robinhood is far and away the most Wall Street, and what it's done is essentially taken commission-based trading away from the industry, and made trading essentially free for you and I. Now, of course, they make money somehow, and the way they make money, Robinhood, is by selling your data, by selling entry and exit data and all kinds of investor data. Now, whether you agree with that or not is going to inform whether or not you use an app like Robinhood, but it has extremely big investments and partnerships with big names like JP Morgan and Citadel, right? These are not small names when it comes to Wall Street. In fact, JP Morgan, arguably one of the biggest banks. So they're not going to be investing in a platform that is actually going to be taken down. So that's one clue I'd say about these Wells notices, is that if they're putting Robinhood in their crosshairs, I think that there's something going on over at the SEC that is not really above board, right? I'm not saying there's anything illegal going on, but it's something that's very, very fishy, something very, very strange for them to come after Robinhood. Coinbase, I would put in that category as well, but it's crypto specific. Robinhood, you can have had an IRA on there for years. People have been holding stocks in there for years. This is, at this point, is almost like TD Ameritrade, or even an account with another big brokerage provider. Let's move on. Uniswap, the decentralized exchange Uniswap, served a Wells notice April of 2024. The allegation was it might be facilitating the trade of unregistered securities. There's that term again. OpenSea, August 2024, the SEC issued Wells notice to the NFT marketplace, OpenSea, indicating that it considers certain NFTs sold on the platform to be securities. OpenSea is expected to challenge the SEC stance in court. And then recently, this one, today, in October, Crypto.com receives a Wells notice over alleged allegations of unregistered security offering, the big, scary monster of unregistered securities. So, bros, those are the existing Wells notices that have been issued. Now, some of these have been followed up by lawsuits from the SEC, especially in the case of Coinbase, probably the biggest one. While others like Robinhood and Uniswap and OpenSea have only been issued the notice. So, as of today, Crypto.com has only been issued the Wells notice. They got that back in August 22nd, as we learned. However, the fact that they were preemptive in this, right? They looked at what happened with Coinbase. They looked over what has been happening with Ripple Labs and the absolute mayhem over there with XRP, and they're thinking to themselves, let's just go ahead and sue these regulatory, you insert your favorite word there, and to get ahead of this, right? Let's go ahead and be aggressive at this, proactive at this. Bros, let's take a look at the lawsuits and their current statuses, because Ripple, you have to hand them to them. Ripple is definitely the OG when it comes to getting sued by the SEC. Let me know if you disagree. Is there another one that's even more of a victim of this regulation by enforcement from the SEC? Let me know in the chat. But this one was filed back in December of 2020. Allegations was that the SEC accused Ripple Labs, along with its CEO Brad Garlinghouse and co-founder Chris Larson, of conducting unregistered securities offerings. There's that fancy term there. Offering through the sale of XRP tokens, which the SEC claimed should be classified as securities. The current status of that is actually well known by the crypto community, as this one is watched by a hawk, but watched like a hawk. The case remains ongoing. Ripple securities and partial victory in July 2023, when a U.S. court ruled the XRP sales on public exchanges did not constitute security sales. However, sales directly to institutional investors may still be in violation of the securities law. This is the one that the SEC just decided to go ahead and appeal, and it sucks. Both parties are appealing aspects of the ruling. So that's going to higher courts. That chapter is not yet over. I will say that it looks like things are looking optimistic there overall. And when these cases conclude for Ripple Labs, there could be some euphoria return to XRP coin. Could, right? Could is a big word there. Binance, ongoing. File date June 2023. The SEC alleged that the founder, CZ, and Binance US for operating an unregistered exchange offering unregistered securities. I think you might be starting to notice a pattern here. Overall here, bros, what is the takeaway? Because there's a lot more. You've got Coinbase, you've got Kraken, you've got Bittrex, you've got Nexo. It just goes on and on and on. The reality is the outcome for a lot of these is settlements in the double digit millions, meaning 40 million, 50 million. And these companies are brought to court and ultimately have to pay what amounts to a slap on the wrist. But from a brand perspective, they get absolutely tarnished. And it doesn't look good for the brand such as Coinbase and Crypto.com today, but also it looks terrible for the industry that crypto companies are constantly being brought into the principal's office, constantly being brought before the U.S. justice system, and it's very fishy, very fishy to say the least. If you're newer to crypto, you're newer to investing, you're sitting here, you're saying, hey, I just opened up a Crypto.com account. Should I take my money off that exchange? I'm sitting here, all the evidence that I've brought to you suggests that this question has been asked again and again and again, whether in the case of Kraken, whether in the case of Binance, whether in the case of Coinbase itself. The answer has been no, it's fine, right? These Wells notices, even these lawsuits, end up being fine for the holder. Now, there are cases where it wasn't so fine for the holder, and that in the case of Celsius and Three Arrows Capital and FTX, probably the biggest one, right? It wasn't fine for the holder. However, those were the ones that somehow got past the SEC, right? Those were the ones where the SEC was a little bit busy with Coinbase and other compliant applications like Coinbase and Crypto.com today. They're finding themselves getting all kinds of up in their business when there's probably loads of actual crypto scams going on that they should be on the beat and prosecuting. So, bros, let me know. I'm going to jump into the chat and see what's going on here, see what you guys are thinking. If you're a veteran to crypto, if you've been in for a while, you probably have a similar attitude to mine, which is, how can I help the noobs? How can I help the noobs overcome any fear, any hesitancy, anything like that? Because this is scary, right? You never want to see a huge regulator coming after the product that you're using, right? Crypto.com in this case. That's scary. That's not good, right? But hopefully we've given you a little bit of assurance now that you've seen the list of other companies that have received Wells notices with Robinhood, Coinbase, Binance, and now Crypto.com. It's going to be okay, right? And yeah, so let's see what's rocking here. Retro Mike Tech said, I'm a noob. Help me. Unfortunately, Retro Mike, I think you might be on help. Just kidding, of course. We love Retro Mike. Crux of Crypto said, smash those likes. Absolutely, you need to smash those likes. It's going to be very, very good if you smash those likes. Shroomy is a pro. He always knows what to do with his hands. Thank you. I appreciate that. All right, let's see what else we got here. JR said smash the likes. A lot of folks wanting to go ahead and smash the likes. Tradefly jumping in the chat. What's up, Tradefly? Said, that's a hot take. I appreciate it. All right. Great convo today in deep takes. Yeah, absolutely it was. It was a really good convo. Hi, could you cover Caspa? What is the price prediction for the top of the bull market? Thanks. We will cover Caspa. I think we'll do that here in just a few minutes. So thank you for reminding me there. Shroomy, my wife says she loves my crypto holdings. That's good. That's good that your wife thinks that. It's always good to be on the same page financially with your spouse and loved ones. Are you doing better than you deserve, Shroomy? I'll just say this. If someone were to ask me how I'm doing today, I would say I'm doing better than I deserve. Hopefully that answers your question. And finally, the statement of the day. Tony Rosa says, Gary is a bozo. Hard to disagree with that one there. So, very, very good stuff. Very good stuff. Frank said the SEC is a group of thieves looking to get free money from those crypto exchanges. That's one way to look at it. That is definitely an outcome that is taking place. Whether or not that's the end goal or whether that's a symptom of the process to pursue an unknown end goal, I do not know. But it is very clear that the SEC under Chair Gensler is hell-bent about bringing these crypto companies into the judicial system and challenging them there. I will share a little bit of a deep take that we've talked about here very briefly, which is this. The result of a lot of these lawsuits, if you really think about it, could end up making the crypto industry much more durable. In the sense that if they hadn't had these lawsuits and then something big and catastrophic happens, it would have been an untested industry by the legal system, and there wouldn't be the built-up precedent that there is today. Built-up precedent of what? Meaning just slaps on the wrist, right? These $40-50 million fees, penalties for operating in some kind of breach of the law, knowingly or unknowingly. Those are minimal, right? Compared to the amount of precedent and kind of guide for future regulators for the crypto industry that these cases provide. So in some sense, Gary Gensler may actually, whether he knew it or not, have paved the road to a very durable crypto future where it's immune from legal intervention in the future because it's all happening early. It's a theory, right? And it's a deep take, definitely not standing by it as truth, just looking at it from all angles and telling you what I think, right? All right, let's go ahead and get into the bullish aspect of this, and that's that if Donald Trump gets elected, he plans to replace Gary Gensler if he wins the 2024 U.S. presidential election. That is true, right? He said that at the Bitcoin conference. Now, politicians sometimes make promises that they don't or can't keep. However, this is a promise that he has made to the interest group that is crypto, right? And the top candidate, this is more speculation, right? This is not truth, but this is speculation. The top candidate is Dan Gallagher, we learned yesterday, chief legal officer over at Robinhood, a top crypto exchange. This would be bullish for the crypto market, says Crypto Busy. So overall, I agree. I think it would. We talked about this at length, Tim and I, yesterday on the show, and we'll more than likely be talking about it more if Donald Trump gets elected. So we shall see what ends up happening there, but either way, it would be happy trails for Gary Gensler. He'd be out of that position. Now, if Kamala gets elected, he may remain, or he may actually get a bump up. He may get Janet Yellen's current job over at the Secretary of Treasury. He also could get fired too, right? If Kamala kind of wakes up to what he's been doing, then she could potentially fire him. But unfortunately, I think there is a good chance that she herself may be in the camp with the Elizabeth Warrens of the world, who are seem to be diametrically opposed to crypto and have even raised an anti-crypto army that has been well reported on. To me, it's not clear if Kamala Harris herself is in that camp. Joe Biden, under his administration, you could kind of make arguments that for both sides that he has not been a pro-crypto candidate, but he also has done things where he also had opportunities to be much harsher on crypto, and he didn't take those opportunities. Where someone like Elizabeth Warren, if you pictured her as president, I don't like the way that sounded. She could, you could have seen a world where crypto would have been crushed by now. It would have been smithereens. Bullish news here, bros. Ready? Strap in for it, because we are exiting the bearish news. FTX bankruptcy plans approved by judge, clearing the path to $16 billion in repayments. This is big news. Now, of course, all of that $16 billion isn't going to flow right into Bitcoin and not into crypto, but some of it will, right? A non-0% of that $16 billion will go right back into the crypto markets where it was wrongfully taken from its owners in the first place. But of course, some of that's going to go to pay off mortgages, go to pay off, private school for people's kids, and maybe even go to pay for deductibles on insurance claims from these hurricanes. It is not certain where that $16 billion is going to go, or when it's going to be dropping into people's bank accounts. But what we do know now is that the bankruptcy judge has cleared that $16 billion total to go ahead and be paid out. Again, when that's going to happen, how quickly, we don't know, and of course, we know even less where that $16 billion is going to rotate into. But with that said, let's do a little bit of coverage here of this hurricane. Of course, this has nothing to do with crypto, but it has to do with the bros, because Tim and I are both affected by this. I want to just give you a little bit of an idea. This hurricane will continue to be a variable in our live stream schedule until around 3 p.m. on the October 10th. And even then, we may still be traveling back and forth from places that we have gone to evacuate. It looks like at this point in time, I will be evacuating where I live in Florida to go north. Obviously, pray for me, but just also bear with the bros community as Tim and I are kind of in flux. We're running around trying to help family, trying to help ourselves and our dogs, as it turns out, escape the risks and the threats of these hurricanes. So definitely be praying for us. Keep us on your minds, and we should be good. We should be A-okay. We like to think that we're pretty intelligent guys, and we'll be able to push through here. Speaking of pushing through, the Bitcoin ETF outflows have stopped, and we have gone back into inflow. These are the daily histograms. That one from yesterday, getting back to some pretty high levels there, above 30 billion. Nice to see. Turning on the weekly histograms, again, getting another nice little green inflow week. We'll see if we close that green or if we can get up nice and higher than where we currently are now. That's the bullish news there, bros. I'm going to start looking at the Caspa charts here. Let me know if there's any other coins that you'd like me to look at. Now, just keep in mind that I do not go in depth into the charts in this season as much as Tim does. So whatever I'm going to show you, it's going to be a pretty surface level analysis, but you're still welcome to go ahead and shout them out, and I will give you my perspective on what I see from the charts. I'm going to start out with Caspa, and then we're going to make our way into any other coins that you all would like to see. I'm seeing AIOZ. That's one we haven't seen a lot in chat. Turbo. Check out Farm, says B-Ball Golf. That one will be interesting. Stacks, STX. All right, and that'll probably round us out. I think I'm going to more than likely close the stream a little bit earlier today, just because we got to get some hurricane prep stuff going. But I do want to take a look here at Caspa and a couple of other charts. So let's look at Caspa. Caspa giving up some support here. A lot of investors kind of scratching their heads thinking, hey, this is one of the best top performers of 2023. What the heck is happening to it here? Now, we have seen a resurgence here from Caspa, which is nice to see, as it's gotten down as low as 13 cents 11. And now, that's a line, not a percentage. And now you can see, though, that it has been able to surge back up 9.31% since back here just earlier today. So that's good to see. That's good to see Caspa getting a bid back up above that level of support. I wouldn't say this is the best drawing of it here. Let me see if I can get that. Yeah, I mean, you have this one candlestick over here, or that's a wick. You got this wick here. And then you've also got this wick here. I'd like to probably draw it right there. You also have this big glaring. I'm not ignoring this. I see this here, but I think that that's going to be more anomalistic. So if we were to draw it there, let's see how that would look. All right, let's try and get these lines as crazy as we possibly can. How about that? No, but there we go. Something like that, and you'd see, Caspa's still getting back up above it. So in any way you slice this bread, it's actually looking like Caspa is strong, right? What do I mean by that? If you're newer to charting, newer to investing and trading, what am I looking for here? I'm looking for strength, right? Caspa is clearly kind of on the bottom end of a range that it is sideways range that it is broken in ever since it graduated out of this uptrending wedge, this ascending wedge. It broke out of that to the downside after putting in a new high. It broke out of that, and has since come down and kind of nestled into this range, this sideways, much more Bitcoin post-March-esque type of range here. And now it's broken that, but it got back above it, right? I like to see that. Let's take a look at the oscillators. Let's take a look at the MACD. Start with the MACD. Seeing a nice little bull cross here on the MACD. Nice to see for sure. Waning red histograms could be ticking back green, signaling bulls coming back. And then you got that nice little bull cross right here. That could be explosive. That could be bullish. Investors like to see that, that's for sure. Last time we got a bull cross like that, we had a move 4 or 5%. Okay, so a little bit of a recovery from this overall downtrend that it was in there in late September. So hopefully we'll see more explosiveness than that from this bull cross again there on the MACD. We'll see. We'll see what ends up happening with that. Again, obviously, as much TA as you do on altcoins, it's very determinant of how Bitcoin plays out. And Bitcoin plays out based on macroeconomic liquidity, and how much risk appetite institutions and whales are able to muster up. We do not see the level of retail quite yet coming in order to think about price movements in terms of how retail is responding. Again, and if we did make that comparison, it would be in meme coins where retail is dominant. If you take a look here, you can see some reversal delta, some reversal candy signaling exactly what we've seen on the price chart there on the 4-hour. Money flow is got back up above that bullish threshold, which is nice to see. And this is actually a 3-piece setup here for a pretty good trade on Caspa. I did not take this trade. I didn't see this setting up here, but this would have been good. Now, unfortunately, what could also happen here is Caspa could get rejected off of what was support here that it lost. It could go ahead and get rejected off of this because the candlestick's not done yet on the 4-hour, like I said, and reject and go lower. So that is a concern to have for Caspa there. I haven't heard any kind of real bearish news on Caspa to make me think that that's what's going to happen here. More than likely, if I had to guess, I would probably try to straddle this, right? Because I think that what's going to end up happening is exactly what's going to end up happening with Bitcoin and other coins that don't have a bullish catalyst right now. An example of one with a bullish catalyst is Sui, right? And it's just got a lot of attention. But coins without a bullish catalyst right now, coins that are kind of waiting for the next big thing, are just going to continue to be range bound and sideways. So my guess is that for Caspa, it might come back up and test higher and probably just continue to be sideways in this pattern, right? Now bears are going to try to make the argument that Caspa could come back down, right? I could see Caspa getting back down to 10 cents at the extreme, but more than likely we'll find some support down around 12, right? Down around 12, I think is more than likely. If Caspa does go ahead and lose this support, which it kind of already has, but it got back above it, shown some strength. But if it loses that and confirms it, we'll probably see 12, and 10 would be the next level after 12. Do I expect either? I don't, right? I just trade the charts in front of me. I invest according to the charts that I see, and I don't make financial recommendations. But if I did, I would say that's the way you should crumble that cookie as well. All right, let's see what else we had. AIOZ. All right. I'm not sure how this one has performed. I haven't cracked this chart open in a little bit. So this will be T-Shroom's live reaction to AIOZ chart. I'm on the 4-hour. Let's go out to the daily. Let's just get a little bit more of a broad summary of what we're seeing here. I had a fib drawn out on this. Was this a trend-based? It was. This was a trend-based fib on AIOZ. Let's see. Yeah, it's obeyed that golden pocket right here. Found some support there. Also right here. And then this was resistant. The golden pocket was resistance for it to come in and put a higher low, AIOZ, back in mid-September. So that's potentially bullish there. So let's use this fib. I've already got it drawn out, and it looks like it's obeyed its levels pretty well. I think that what we see is just continued sideways action until there's until Bitcoin breaks out, and there's a thesis. There's a new buy thesis for AIOZ, and we see it break up to, I think the next level will probably be around 68 cents for AIOZ. Now, if we don't, I think that there's good support here. Again, just from the Fibonacci, because if I throw on Lux Algo, there's probably all kinds of other indication, especially on the daily. But right here, I'm seeing at 37 cents, you have some bulls that were exhausted. So this would potentially be a resistance level. If we were to get back below 37, this would be tough to get back up above, is essentially the way to interpret that. So I wouldn't worry about that too much because we're well above it for now. And then the reversal clouds here from LuxAlgo showing, that's not really much of a factor either. It's under a sell rating here on the daily chart after it broke down below 50 cents, and so that's potentially something you don't want to enter quite yet, especially if you're investing. But once this comes back down and shows a convincing bottom, perhaps there on the golden pocket, I think that it will eventually get back up to the 161 level and push higher. The all-time high here for AIOZ, let's see, is $1.07, it looks like. Let's see how far up that would be from the live price. That's not what we want. From the live price of 46 cents, I've got my finger on the wrong button. That's why it keeps doing that. 130% back to the all-time highs. But here's what some of the wisdom that I've learned from Crux is that when a coin is in its first cycle, as AIOZ is here, you can see it was launched in February of this year. That price discovery yet is not set in. So the all-time high for AIOZ here is only from this year. So you have to keep that in mind, that it's not the same as analyzing Bitcoin and AVAX or Ethereum's all-time high, because those have lived through multiple cycles, and so their all-time highs are going to be much more impact. So good shout out there. Let's take a look at Turbo, and that'll probably be our last one. Turbo. I don't know too much about that one, but it seemed like it's a I don't even know. I don't even want to comment because I'm not sure if it's a good coin or not. I haven't sought any exposure to it. Why do I feel like it's not a meme coin? It sounds like a meme coin, but I feel like it's not a meme coin. Looking here at the daily chart, Turbo is actually kind of towards the higher end of its range here. If you exclude these extreme highs that we got back here in May of 2024. So if you take those out, Turbo's actually not too far from its range high here, wicked up to 18% off of live price, and if you just go to the highest candle of this range, it's about 9% lower than that. Now, if you look at the all-time high here for Turbo, it's about, call it 50% down since then to live price. What the heck did I just do? Oh, that's cool. If you do shift 5, it just goes to full chart. You learn something every single day. It is a lot of fun. Let's see. Currently under a buy rating, the current candle for Turbo under a buy rating here from LuxAlgo, and that looks like it's because it got up above. It printed a is in the process of printing a candle here above the midline of the Bollinger Band. That is pretty bullish there to see on the daily chart for Turbo. Haven't seen one of those since back here in September 30th. So able to find a little bit of bullish swing here. Why? Because we've got a higher low. Investors love to see that higher low, right? It gives them confidence that what they're investing is going higher, right? And ultimately what you want to try to do, obviously, is time that low. I don't know that I would have done that, right? I would have thought that the price would have come quite a bit lower and reverted to this average, this nice chunky bit of trading here. But I would have missed that trade. But that right there, that's a good entry here. So if you got into Turbo, below 50, what is that? 0054 within the last month, you're looking pretty good with a good entry. Again, I don't know I can't remember if this is a meme coin or not. Let's see if the chat can help me out here. Turbo is a meme coin with an AI narrative. That's what I thought. So for some of you, that sounds really, really exciting. For me, that is like the most unattractive use case. Meme coins are cool, right? I have Dogecoin, I have Ordi, but the bonks, the dog whip hats, the pop cats, For me, I like to hold Bitcoin, Ethereum, and then pick, out of the top 200 altcoins, I like to pick those. So Caspa is a big holding of mine, Chainlink's big holding of mine, AVAX, Uniswap, right? Aave's done pretty well recently. Like, those are the kinds of coins that I like to buy. Meme coins, Turbo. Look, if you want to get into that stuff, people are making money, right, doing that. So I don't want to discourage people too much, but if you're newer to crypto, you're newer to investing, don't think that you're going to be getting into meme coins and making money. You're going to get thrashed around in a hyper volatile asset class, and that's just what's going to happen, and you're going to more than likely not get the outcome you want. We took a look at Turbo. We took a lurk at Caspa and AIOZ, and we've had some fun. I am going to go ahead and sign off for today, but the conversation never stops in the Discord. So go ahead and join the Discord. The links are down below. We have a free link that just says Discord, and then we have Brolux memberships. That's how you can get plugged in to our paid channels in Discord. Discord is easy to use. A lot of people get confused about that. We have some videos now that show you exactly how to take advantage of your tier, of your membership tier, and sky's the limit. People are loving it. People are coming in having never used Discord before and being like, you guys make it so easy with these little tutorial videos and the amount of value you get from trading lessons, trading setups, learning how to trade, having a question and answer session every single day, which I believe Crux is going to be doing a Q&A, trading Q&A right after this stream. People have found it to be very, very helpful. So whether you're seeking to learn how to trade, how to invest, or you're just a little crypto curious, you want to see what you can do with your Bitcoin. You want to see what's the fuss with all these cryptocurrencies. You have some questions that you want some more in-depth answers than you're going to get here on the live stream. Look no further than those links down in the Discord. It's okay if you want to set up the free account. Nothing wrong with that. Get in there, go in the general channel, ask. I'm answering probably 20 questions a day, and ranging from very noob questions to very complicated questions. Had a pretty complicated one today about volume. Had to look that sucker up because I didn't actually know the answer. But we're trying to help everybody in there, right? And our community is absolutely amazing. Sometimes they get in there and answer the questions before I even do. So if you've got questions, if you're ready to take that leap and learn how to trade, or just learn how to invest, and diversify, allocate into crypto, I think that you're in an amazing spot. Go ahead and click those links below. And with that, bros, I'm going to go ahead and sign off. Crux will be going live down in the Discord for traders Q&A. He said I'll be hosting a Q&A in Discord right after this stream. So I'm going to end early, so that means it's going to be starting at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So go ahead and jump in there at 4. But without further ado, thank you all so much for watching. If you're a Crypto.com holder, it is scary right now, but rest assured, you're going to be okay. The SEC hands out these Wells notices like they're blue badges at the Swine Festival. You're going to be just fine. Adios.